CD Projekt has released their expansion pass information for The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. The season pass in all but name. For the price of $25 or 23 euros, you'll be able to get access to the 2 expansions that they're going to release months down the line. The first one is called Hearts of Stone and will be released in October of 2015. And will be about 10 hours in terms of length, set in the region of Oxenfurt, near the city of Oxenfurt, which is one of the main cities that you'll be visiting in the main story of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. 10 hours of game length for that expansion in that region. And you're gonna meet characters that, either from the books or from the series that haven't shown up in a while. I'm thinking Shani, something along those lines. And then the second one is called Blood and Wine, and it's set in the Duchy of Toussaint, a semi-autonomous region, I guess you could say, in Nilfgaard. Nilfgaard doesn't really get involved in their affairs, and they're known for the Toussaint wine. And you're going to go there, and the length of that expansion is about 20 hours. So all in all, for $25, you get 2 expansions at 30 hours of game length, which is pretty reasonable as far as I'm concerned. I think that for the price that they're asking right there, it is fairly reasonable. Now, some people say that, oh, you know, the main game is 200 hours and it's what, $60 or, you know, less if you buy it with the discount. Well, first off, the marketing of The Witcher 3, most of it, the vast majority of it, is clear on the subject. The game is about 100 hours in terms of length. But even then, you still have, what, a third of the length in both the expansion packs put together for, what, half the price. Some people are saying, oh, that's not reasonable, it should be cheaper or something along those lines. To me, it doesn't matter. The length is not the issue, it's what you do with it. I'll give you a perfect example. Dragon Age Awakening is what, 10, 13 hours? You can finish it in less than 20, at any rate 15 even. I certainly have done that on the highest difficulty, but of course I knew what I was doing. Generally, what, 10 to 15 hours, 16 hours, something along those lines. And that's if you do everything in Dragon Age Awakening, if you complete it all. And yet, I would rather play Dragon Age Awakening more times than play Dragon Age Origins. Dragon Age Origins is bigger, is what, 50, 60, 70 hours, even longer if you do everything, if you're a completionist. If it's your first run, it can easily take up to 60, 70 hours, easily. But the catch is, Awakening has considerably less filler content than Origins does, because it's a more focused story. It's focused on smaller zones, but it does still have a considerable amount of dialogue, characters, and story. So Awakening, although it's shorter and although it's overpriced, it was considered overpriced by people when it came out, does offer a very good experience with less filler content. With The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, with the main game, it will have more filler content than these expansions, because these expansions are focused on very narrow areas versus the main game, which is all over the place. You've got Redania, you've got a small part of Redania with Novigrad, you've got part of northwestern Temeria, you've got the Skellig Islands. So there is obviously gonna be some filler content there, and there's gonna be a lot of time wasted traveling from point A to point B. That's unavoidable. Regardless of how they set up the game, that's unavoidable. With the expansions, one of them set in a major city and another set in a duchy like that, it's probably very likely that there will be less filler content. I'm not saying that there won't be any filler content, that's unreasonable, but probably less than the main game. So to me, it doesn't matter. The price is reasonable as far as I'm concerned. What about the notion that they're releasing the expansion pass right now before the game is even out? I don't care. I really see no reason to care about this. Yes, they're releasing it right now, but you don't have to buy it. As Marcin Nowinski stated when they announced this, if you don't want to buy it, if you want to wait, then wait. He said that if you want to wait for reviews, for the game to come out, to have an opinion, to know what you're getting yourself into with The Witcher 3, then wait. You don't have to buy this right now. There's no reason to. There's no discount or pre-order incentive for doing this right now. If you're buying it then, well, you know for certain that you're gonna play it when it comes out, or you're a huge Witcher fan, or fanboy, fangirl, whatever. And, well, that's your prerogative. But you don't have to buy it. You can buy it one day before it comes out and you'd still get the same thing. So there's no point in buying it right now and spending your money on this. The reason they're doing it, as far as I'm concerned, right now is because the marketing campaign of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is in full swing right now. There's a lot of attention from gamers, from the press, there's trailers coming out, more and more information. The hype is huge. Releasing it right now makes good amount of business sense, and I don't think it's a scummy move on anyone's part. If people want to spend their money on it, then go ahead. If you want to wait, go ahead. No one's forcing you to do it right now. No one's putting a loaded gun at your head and forcing you to do it. The game will not be less complete if you don't do this right now, if you wait. The game will be fully complete when it comes out. Even if you don't purchase this, you don't have to buy this. This has to be stressed out because the outrage over this is huge. Hell, I don't think I've ever seen GOG taken down, and I saw GOG taken down because of this announcement. That's how big this is right now. And that was amazing. I saw the Witcher boards being taken down, which happens very rarely, I can tell you that for a fact. Generally, it's their maintenance. The only concern I have with regards to the expansion pass isn't with the price, it's not with the release date, it's not with the fact that they put it out there right now. Rather, it's with the fact that we don't know how they'll implement it in the main story. My concern is, as with many story DLCs for many RPGs, Bioware, I'm looking at you, is that it will be something separate, that it will have no bearing whatsoever on the main story of the game. There are several questions that have to be answered here. Will it be separate from the main game? Like, will you start it separately from the main game, or do you have to, you know, while playing the main game, do you have to start it from that point? You know, you get to a point in the main game while playing the main story, and you go on your little adventure somewhere else. I hope that's not the case. I hope it's a separate thing and, you know, separate time. You know, even after, before, during, whatever. Actually, not during, but before or after the events of The Witcher 3. You know, there's certainly time. Like, there's several months between the end of The Witcher 2 and the beginning of The Witcher 3 where Geralt is, no one really knows where he is, so they have that time to work with. Geralt could certainly go to Nilfgaard and return, you know, for the purposes of the Blood and Wine DLC. You know, that would work. Or, you know, after The Witcher 3, if Geralt isn't dead, if Geralt can't die. I don't know. Can Geralt die? You don't know. I don't know. No one really knows the answer to that question. Not even, it's not something specified anywhere, really. Trust me. I don't think Geralt will die, but it is the end of his journey, so generally people would expect the character to die, but I don't think he will die. Just some food for thought there. Anyway, that's my only concern. I would rather like it, if they're gonna implement it in the main game, then implement it in a way like they've done in The Witcher 2 with the DLCs there, with the extended cut content, with Roach's Path and Yorva's Path, like the quest with Cynthia, that was very well implemented in the main story. It gave you more information that was relevant to the main story, and on Roach's Path it was just superb. We get more information about the situation in Temeria. We work to resolve more of the conflicts in Temeria, the political conflicts in Temeria, and we understand what happened to Anais' brother. So that was very well done in terms of The Witcher 2 DLC. So if they're gonna do it during the events of The Witcher 3, then do it like that. Don't do it like BioWare, who loves to shove DLC that has no bearing whatsoever on the main story or, you know, what's happening in the main game. They've done some DLCs, BioWare has done some DLCs that were handled right in Mass Effect, for instance. Lair of the Shadow Broker was very well handled. That made sense within the context of the main story, that, oh, Cerberus would find information about the location of the Shadow Broker, and Shepard would drop everything to go after him, or, you know, the Arrival DLC. But then there's DLC that just doesn't make sense at all. I'll give you an example. Citadel DLC. Yes, I love Citadel DLC like anyone else. I love it for well, not the story, but the interaction with the squad members. I certainly do love it because of that. But at the same time, it's just so bloody irrelevant in the large scheme of things, of the main story of Mass Effect 3. Then again, who gives a shit about the main story of Mass Effect 3? Certainly no one, considering the way BioWare handled that. But that's my point. If you want to handle it like you did in The Witcher 2. That's what I would personally say there. Anyway, Costin here on Serious Gaming, signing out. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe and like it.